Welcome to week 5 of the Math Map, Multiplication. To begin our week and to illustrate the concept of multiplication, we read this book, Multiplying Menace, The Revenge of Rumpelstiltskin. This entertaining book illustrated not only what happens when we multiply using whole numbers, but what happens when we multiply using fractions. So that was fun. I put a link in the description below if you want to check it out. On day 1, we began with our art discussion. This week's art is of Jesus miraculously multiplying 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish to feed a multitude. There's a lot of richness to introduce math with art. I love that. Then I read a couple of sentences out of the essay. My favorite sentences were, addition and subtraction slowly move numbers along the number line. Multiplication moves numbers faster, sometimes much faster, depending on the size of the intervals along the number line. This gave me motivation for our song for multiplication. Instead of moving slowly on the real number line, as much fun as that is, we want to fly on the real number line. There's a superhero who can quickly fly down the city streets to catch thieves. Or maybe he swings more than he flies, but he's still moving super fast. Do you know who it is? You can check out our multiplication song to the tune of Spider-Man here. I even found Spider-Man showing us what the multiplication symbol looks like. Before we jump into the arithmetic of multiplication, let's spend some time on the grammar of multiplication. This is what I love about the math map. Vocabulary is so empowering. Our family is in the memoria stage where we are memorizing the grammar, the language of math. Spending time on math grammar is imperative to understanding the concepts. Sometimes I just want to give the shortcut for solving the arithmetic. And while that is also worthy of knowing, I wanted us to slow down first and think about why and how multiplication works. I want us to understand the math behind the arithmetic. I encourage us all to take time to memorize and study the math grammar. Doing so helps us see the unseen in math. We know our times tables and enjoy singing our skip counting songs, but our math map journey this week was about learning the grammar of multiplication. So, the new grammar for this week is from page 1. Factor times factor equals the product. And I found ASL signs for these. Factor, you sign your parentheses. Factor times multiply. You make K's with each hand and you cross them. You can cross them once or you can cross them twice. Factor times factor equals, or balanced, equals the product. Now for product, you use your 2 K's just like in multiply, and you tap your wrists together to the side, and then you tap to the front. Product. Doesn't that look like Spider-Man's moves a little bit? Product. Factor times factor equals the product. Then our next new grammar is scalar times quantity equals the product. And this we just use the first letter for ASL. Scalar times quantity, Q is like a G but down, quantity equals the product. Scalar times quantity equals the product. This is where I went on a bunny trail this week, but I'll get to that in just a moment. Let's finish new grammar first. Additional math grammar that you can memorize or review if you've been in CC already is page 5 for the laws of multiplication. Commutative is all cycles week 22. Associative, all cycles week 21. Identity, all cycles week 24. I haven't found or written a song for the inverse law for multiplication yet, so I'll add that to my ever-growing list of songs that I want to write. Or I'll just ask Tristan to write it. Okay, so my bunny trail. There is a math test that went viral on social media. The question was, write an addition equation that matches this multiplication equation. 3 times 4 equals 12. The student wrote 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. The teacher marked it wrong and corrected it with 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. You see where I'm going? I remember learning the terms multiplicand and multiplier. Tristan doesn't remember learning the term multiplicand. So we had a mega big conversation about whether that math test question should have been marked wrong. I'll put a link into the description to a video that does a great job of explaining it. What do you think? Write a comment below and share what you learned about multiplicands, multipliers, factors, commutative law, etc. Should 3 times 4 equal 12 be 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12? Or should it be 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12? Or both? Write a comment and tell us what you learned about factors. What I concluded was that the math map looks ahead to math to come, such as linear algebra, vectors, and matrices, where the scalar is written in front of the vector or matrix. So it makes sense to say that the first factor is scalar and the second factor is the quantity and direction. But that was our conversation all week, diving deep into the language of math. It was fun to discuss and explore. And now for something completely different. I found a few entertaining videos on YouTube that helped us memorize the new grammar. I'll put their links in the description below. Remember the cartoon Animaniacs? The Warner siblings have a song for multiplication that I found hilarious. Then there is a great song for the laws or properties of multiplication. And lastly, there was a song with puppet birds for multiples versus factors. That was a good song. The puppets aren't my favorite, but the song is great. So the wrap up. Multiplication is so rich. There is so much depth to it. I try to remind myself not to get discouraged by focusing on what we did not get to cover. Instead, focus on the quality of study of the things we did get to cover this week. Even though we didn't get a lot done or cover all that the math map has to offer us this week, we were able to have conversations and fun learning the grammar of multiplication. Quality over quantity was my mantra this week. Our gospel connection is found in Mark chapter 4, where we read the parable of the sower. Jesus taught them many things by parables, and in his teaching said, "Listen, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on the rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow, but when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants, so that they did not bear grain. Still, other seed fell on good soil. It came up, grew, and produced a crop, some multiplying 30, some 60, some 100 times." Did you catch produced, product? Later, Jesus explains the parable, and in verse 20, we see that the good soil illustrates when someone hears the word, accepts it, and produces a crop, some 30, some 60, some 100 times what was sown. It has been a frequent prayer of mine before we begin our homeschool day to pray, "Lord, please till the soil of our hearts to receive your word, to receive and accept your truth." But after this week's lesson, I want to add to that prayer, "Lord, use what we learn to produce a crop, to multiply your love for others through us." 1 Peter 4 says, "Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. Offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." May our lives multiply God's love and share his grace as we study God's word and the world of mathematics that he created, and let our light shine as we love others, for love covers over a multitude of sins. And that was our week 5. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please subscribe and share. And be sure to check out our multiplication song for some silly fun. Thank you for watching, and have fun learning.